Hey, Jim Malone here from njhypno.com. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to do a fun little psychic experiment to see whether or not I can influence a prediction I'm going to ask you to make in a little while regarding a negative behavior and the time of day that it's most likely to occur. Now, in order to participate, what you're going to need are 5 slips of paper. They can be squares or rectangles, all about the same size. I'm going to be using these index cards because I happen to have them lying around. But if you don't, you can just get a standard piece of paper, and you know how you can fold it a few times, tear, fold, tear, until you come up with 5 slips of paper. Or if you happen to have a pair of scissors on hand, you could do it that way too. But go ahead, hit the pause button, and when you're ready to get started, hit play again. Okay, so you got your 5 slips of paper, and what I'm going to ask you to do is to just lay them out in front of you, kind of like, like in a card game. And I'm going to the one on your left. I'm going to ask you to write down the number 1, flip it over, and write the number 2, leaving the 2 facing up. Next card, you're going to write the number 3, flip it over, the number 4, and leave it face up that way with the 4 facing up. And you're probably detecting a pattern here, so we're going to write down the number 5, flip that one over as well, and underscore the 6, so it doesn't get confused with the number 9 later on if that happens to come up. All right, moving right along, 7, and leaving 8 facing up. And then lastly, we're going to take our last card, we're going to put the number 9, underscore the 9 if you could, and then write the number 10. Now that part is set, just leave them alone for a moment. And I've got to make a list regarding the negative behavior and the most likely time it's going to occur. Now, what I'm going to do is and you don't have to do this part, I'll do this. I'm going to write down the digits that we use in our number system, which are going to be, let's see, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we're going to say that 0 represents morning, 1 will be afternoon, 2 will be evening, and then for the negative behaviors, 3 through 9 here, we could use the 7 deadly sins. Pretty much every spiritual tradition has some version of this, and so for number 3, we'll put wrath, which is really just being angry all the time. 4 could be envy. 5, we'll use, let's say, pride, which doesn't mean being proud of yourself for having done something well. It just means being a braggart or holding yourself above other people. 6 is greed. 7, let's put gluttony, which is an old-timey word for overeating. 8, lust, a perennial favorite. And 9 is sloth, which is another way of saying laziness. Okay. So I got that list all squared away for us, and what you're going to do next is look at your cards. And you have free choice here, but at random, what I'd like you to do is just take one of the cards, pick it up, flip it over, and put it off to the side. We're going to use that one later. So you should have 4 cards here. And what I'm going to ask you to do next to mix things up even further is I'm going to ask you to pick 2 and flip them over. Now, it could be, the ones on the ends. It could be every other one. It could be 2 that are next together. You have total free choice there. I'm going to take these 2, flip them over. Now, pick up your pile left to right. And what you're going to do is just hold that pile in your hand, start to rotate it, and ask yourself, I wonder what that behavior is and when is it most likely to occur. And at some point, just when you feel like stopping, you can stop. You have free choice when you do that. Lay the cards down like that And what I'm going to ask you to do real quick is to add up the total of those four numbers. So as I'm looking here, okay, and when you got that total, I want you to add in the number the card that we put off to the side before. Now, I don't really know what you got, but I suspect a lot of you got what I got. Because as I totaled mine up, I got the number 27. And I wonder how many of you got 27. And as we look at our chart, it's really kind of interesting. It would say evening and gluttony. And that's something that's frequently encountered for people with weight loss. They'll say, I eat really well all day, I do a good job. I have my main meal at night, but then between that time and bedtime, I snack and I can really undo my progress. The good news is that in a hypnosis session, there are many strategies we can use to reverse that pattern. And you can learn more by just connecting with me through my website at njhypno.com. Or another option is there's a book I wrote called Attainable Sustainable Change. And you can get this in print version or digital on Amazon. Or if you use a different ebook vendor, it's all over the internet. It's not that hard to find. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to share it with your friends and neighbors, see what total they come up with on the prediction. But most importantly of all, take good care of yourself and have a great day.